The Podunk Writers Alliance, the PWA, presents a new literary series called Yeah, You Right. It kicks off on Thursday, October 13th at Tipitina's and features performances and readings by several New Orleans writers. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Here with details, Emily Statt and Amanda Boyden. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you both for being with us. And let's start with you, Emily. The PWA began in November 2007 at the annual Words and Music Literary Conference here in New Orleans. What was the goal of the group? How was it started?
Well, the goal of the group was to set up a network of local writers, but then also network with writers outside of our city. And quickly it developed that all of the writers had this commonality that they felt that they'd grown up in their own private podunks, away from, other writers and culture, that kind of thing. So it became a common theme among the writers and became our name.
And how has the organization grown over the years in terms of membership and recognition of some of the writers?
Well, in first of all, when it started out, it was a lot of writers who had day jobs, lawyers and artists and comedians also. And they didn't call themselves writers, first and foremost. They just wrote privately, secretively. And they came together, supported each other. And next thing you know, they're publishing, they're winning awards, they're getting a lot of recognition for their work. And so the group still, to this day, works as almost like a support group, not for recovering writers, but for writers who are recovering from their day jobs and who are working to be serious writers and take themselves seriously. And that's been our goal, and that's been our achievement so far.
Well, let's bring Amanda Boyden into the conversation, and you will be one of the performers. And you teach at the University of New Orleans, and you've already penned a couple of novels. Tell our audience a little bit about the work that you've produced so far.
I'm actually a former graduate of the UNO MFA program here in town, and so I've chosen to make New Orleans my home for a good 20 years. But I, like many of the other, I think, podunk members, started out doing a different sort of job. I had a different day job. I was an aerialist and contortionist. I performed trapeze and contortion to pay the bills and wrote on the side, but have been really lucky to make Random House my publishing home so far, and I've got a couple novels out. The first one, a reinterpretation of the Cupid and Psyche myth, which sounds as boring as anything out there, but it's won Best Sex Scenes awards and things, so it's really not terrible. And the second one is entitled Babylon Rolling, which I wrote in the aftermath of Katrina, and I consider it my swan song to a city that I was not sure would ever make it back. And so I wanted to capture the city in all of its imperfection and beauty. And I'm quite proud of Babylon Rolling as a tribute to what was and hopefully what will be again.
And if I'm not mistaken, your husband is a writer as well. Is that correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Yes.
And he is, yeah.
Right. Well, what will you share during the kickoff on Thursday, October 13th over at Tipitina's?
I'm actually really hoping to read from a novel in progress. I'm planning, or I'm hoping it will be finished by the upcoming holidays, the Christmas, New Year season. So it will be fun to try out something incredibly fresh.
Well, again, the Yeah, You're Right series put on by the Podunk Writers Alliance kicks off on Thursday, October 13th at Tipitina's. And Emily, let me get back to you again. What do you hope this event does in terms of further promoting New Orleans writers?
Well, we had the idea that, we have a ton of writers in the city, but writers typically read at events that are like coffee shops. They're smaller, they're quieter, and those are great events. They really are, but we have these great venues. We have these rock star cooks, we have these rock star artists, we have these rock stars, that appear at venues like Tipitina's, and we wanted to create a literary concert, an event where writers could be rock stars, because they are, and share a venue that's appropriate for that.
And tell us about some of the other rock stars, including Amanda, who will participate on Thursday.
Well, Amanda, were you at school with Bill Lofhelm?
I was, yes.
I had a feeling. Bill Lofhelm is going to be one of our readers, He's got a couple of books. His newest one is called The Devil She Knows, and introduces us to a character named Maureen Lawson, who is going to be kicking off a series of books that will be taking place in New Orleans. We have Matt Johnson, who actually lives in Houston. He's traveling in for the event, and he just won the Dos Passos Literary Prize for his novel 10. So he's a big coup, and we're really looking forward to having him. And we also have Ian Smith, who's best known for his poem "Oh Beautiful Storm," which introduces season 2 of Treme in their trailer. He's a wonderful spoken word poet, and we also have Kelly Harris-DeBerry, who is also a spoken word poet and a literary activist. She founded the Literary Lab and a couple of other groups, including one that works with breast cancer survivors and their families. And finally, we have Terry Thorpe, who's one of our Podunk members, and she just recently won the William Faulkner William Wisdom short story competition in the story category, and so we're going to be featuring her as well.
Oh, sounds like a great lineup. And one more time, the Podunk Writers Alliance, the PWA, presents a new literary series called Yeah, You Right. It kicks off on Thursday, October 13th at Tipitina's. It starts at 7:30 p.m. and features performances and readings by several New Orleans writers. And for details, you can visit podunk.com. That's PEAUXDUNQUE.com, only in New Orleans, podunk.com. Tickets are available at tipitinas.com. And one more time, Emily Stadt and Amanda Boyden, thank you both, and all the best to you, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Al.